Our families will come in and they'll be intaked, and they're able to stay from 3 to 7 days in the family haven to be stabilized. And they're offered, we have 2 private bedrooms for each family with a bathroom, hot meals, laundry services, and they'll receive case management services while they're here. They'll be in touch with their case manager within the first 24 hours that they're here, and the case manager will work with the client all the way to the point of permanent housing. That's the ultimate goal of them being permanently housed. So the beautiful thing about being here on the grounds that we're on is that the clients will have easy access to other agencies and services that they need to get benefits or health care to address some of those immediate needs that they have when they come to the shelter.
Before this shelter opened, and one recently opened in North Sarasota County, what was an option for a family who had nowhere to go? Previously, going back maybe 2 years ago before we started the project, families that were homeless would have the opportunity to stay in a motel for a short period of time. Beginning in October, when we started working with Gulf Coast Community Foundation specifically on placing families, they've worked with us to assist families in motels where they're able to stay for a longer period of time. So the shelter is, now that the construction's done, they'll be able to come to the shelter instead. So that means if the shelter's full, there's still
Yes, absolutely.
In place to help them,
If the shelter's full, families will still be able to go into motels, and we're in the process of rehabbing and acquiring 4 to 5 houses. That will be the second phase of the program to help families.
Now, when families would leave here and possibly receive one of those houses, how long would they stay in a house?
Right. Well, again, the ultimate goal is permanent housing. So we don't really have a time frame set on that, but we're thinking between 3 and 5 months would be the average stay for a family there.
Dr. Marbut came to town and gave his recommendations, but long before that, the Gulf Coast Community Foundation had really initiated talks around the community about ways to address homelessness. Can you
Sure. The need was first identified by the Gulf Coast Community Foundation Board of Directors. They saw hidden from the press was this large number of homeless children and families that no one was paying attention to. And so they stepped up and said, this is something that Gulf Coast needs to do something about. So they got together with a lot of our donors and raised the funds that were necessary to begin work on a comprehensive program to assemble the agencies that were needed to bring the necessary services to the homeless children and families of Sarasota County. I think the strongest asset of this entire initiative is the partnership. We have the partnership between the really fantastic agencies, the Catholic Charities, Jewish Family Children's Services, Schoolhouse Link, Salvation Army, the United Way 211, Suncoast Partnership to End Homeless. So you have all these agencies working and coming together for a common goal. But you're also seeing this in terms of the funders as well. Gulf Coast Community Foundation is working hand in hand with Sarasota County government to raise the necessary funds to finance capital projects like the shelter that you're seeing here and the additional housing that's going to be necessary to support these families in the months that they need to get themselves sustainable and back on their own 2 feet. Well, there's other components that we're working on at the same time, which is a unified database, the HMIS database that will enable all the agencies to coordinate the services. The master case management unification, where all the case managers are working from a same format with similar forms and dialogue. And then the next component is going to be the longer-term supportive housing. And that is going to be a challenge. And we're up to the challenge, but we're not mincing words with the community about it will cost additional funds and it will require resources that are presently not allocated. We have a severe shortage of affordable homes in Sarasota County, and that affordability and the allotment is getting shorter every day, frankly, as the real estate economy improves. The number of affordable units declines, but the need for those affordable unit increases. So the gap between the need for affordable housing, workforce housing, not only for homeless individuals, but families on the brink of homelessness is severe, and it's something that the community is going to have to face and embrace. And collectively, though, I think with the momentum that we've built here with this initiative that we can make significant headway, if not conquer, within the next few years. Our goal is to make Sarasota County, Florida, the national model for homelessness. Well, I think when we first started, we had really terrific agencies doing great work. What Gulf Coast did was to convene those agencies and move beyond communication to coordination. And I think that is lacking in many communities. The agencies do talk together, but actually sitting down at the table on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis and working collectively to solve the very difficult problems and the needs of homelessness isn't widely done, but we're doing it here. We're doing it with children and families. We're having great success. We hope that can motivate folks in Sarasota to do the same with the adult chronic population. And we hope that in other communities, other mid-sized communities around the United States that have similar needs, they can look to the steps and improvements in the coordinations that we've made here and employ them there. It's a lot easier to duplicate something that's already seen success in one area. We looked far and wide for various success stories that we could model our program after. We didn't find anything exact, so we took the best from many communities and just put them together here and crafted them in a way that would work for Sarasota County. Well, the first thing that we see is excitement, which everyone gets excited about success, and everyone gets excited about a shared vision and shared goals. We have learned a great deal from the North Haven being open, and we will be employing those lessons here. Frankly, things went much smoother than we thought they were going to go. When we first put this program into play, we were told to expect complete chaos and near total failure. And in fact, that didn't happen. We had a few glitches, we had a few stumbles, but because of the dedication of these agencies and their striving and willpower to get it done, what could have been very formidable tasks became very easy to conquer. And so my hat's off, and Gulf Coast is just completely appreciative of the dedication that the not-for-profit agencies are showing to achieve our mutual goals. Well, I do think, there is, let's go back just briefly to the financial partnership, because that is, as we go into the next phase, the successes that we have enjoyed here, I think we need to build upon our strengths and our successes as we go into the next phase, which is that more longer-term supportive housing. And there we're also going to need the continuation of this partnership. We're going to need the philanthropic organizations, we are going to need the donors, and we're going to need the government agencies all on the same page. And I think to do that, we're going to need to do exactly as we did here, and that is to synthesize a plan and then put that plan in a format that's easy to understand for all the funding partners and the community. And once you get the community behind it and the funding partners behind it, that's when you will begin to see success in these very difficult topics such as longer-term supportive housing.